What would you like the power to do? Bank of America.
Hi guys, I'm Amy Peterson, and I'm going to tell you the story of this 14-year-old girl here. If you would have told her that 30 years from now, she'd be presenting on stage at the Detroit Policy Conference about businesses she started here in Detroit, because she's from Buffalo, New York, and how those are community businesses, and how 2 of those businesses got on Good Morning America within a month of each other in 2025, there is no way that girl would have believed you. That girl had complete different dreams. That girl was pursuing her dream of being the first female general manager of a Major League Baseball team. That was it. That's all she ever wanted to do. And that dream is what shaped her future from there on. She shaped her entire career. She went to law school, business school, applied to work for every single team in Major League Baseball except the New York Yankees. I couldn't in good conscience, to be honest. Finally, after 3 rejection letters, I got the opportunity to come to Detroit and work as an intern for the Detroit Tigers. It was an amazing experience. I'm incredibly grateful. I learned a lot. I got to do really cool things like arbitration. I got to go to the World Series. In fact, when I was putting this presentation together, I pulled out for the first time ever the league championship ring that we got in 2012. So if anyone wants to see it afterwards, please find me. I'm more than happy to share. But the irony is that they never let a girl get the men's size ring until I asked for it. Because if you're going to get the real deal Holyfield, you might as well get it. But while I did move here and never thought I would leave baseball, Detroit really changed me. At the time, in 2013, I was living right next door to a well-known shelter in Detroit called COTS. Incredible organization if you aren't familiar with it. And it houses women and families. And living next door, I got to know the women, hear their stories, how they left challenging situations in search of better opportunities, not only for themselves, but for their family members. This, along with being a woman working in sports, really changed me in many ways. And in 2013, I co-founded Rebel Nell. Rebel Nell exists to provide employment, equitable opportunity, and wraparound support for women who are transitioning out of shelter living. This was the pivot of my life. And what do we do at Rebel Nell? Oh, we are known for we're the people that turn graffiti into jewelry. An abundant local resource here in Detroit at one point in time when we started. Now the city looks a little different. But we have become the go-to for preserving memories through sustainable practices. When they were renovating Michigan Central Station, they called us. When the Lions found old jackets that the team wore at Briggs Stadium, they called us. You can see here are some examples. When they were tearing down the Joe Louis, we partnered with the Red Wings. Who remembers the iconic water tower for the Detroit Zoo? Instead of throwing that in the trash, they gave that to us, and we turned that into a unique collaboration. Those parade heads that you see, those were not bobbleheads, those are the big heads that walk down Woodward every single year that could no longer be repaired. Instead of throwing away that piece of meaningful material, they give it to us. And again, now we're becoming the go-to for milestone events when there's something that we can preserve. So we're known for not only creating these unique experiences and gifts by preserving history, but also through our impact. And that's what I'm most proud of at Rebel Nell. It's about who we employ. So to date, our numbers are a little bit behind. We've hired our 50th woman out of the shelters in Detroit. We've impacted the lives of more than 400. And the statistic I am most proud of is that not a single one of the women that we have employed has returned back into shelter living. Thank you. But the journey didn't end there. We're about to head into our 13th year at Rebel Nell, which is amazing. But there's been so many more evolutions to my story and how we've been able to start more community impact businesses here. Let's fast forward to 2020. I had moved from downtown Detroit to a neighborhood in Detroit called Boston Edison with my husband. One of the things that we noticed is what an amazing community it was. So many great neighbors and families that have lived there forever. But we had no place to gather, no place to meet one another. There was an abandoned church on the corner of Rosa Parks and Atkinson, a very historic church. And I had this crazy idea of what if we could turn this into a community hub, a coffee shop, a gathering place. Fortunately, I have an amazing husband, and he was on board with the idea. After 4.5 years, the congregation came to life. For those who have been there, thank you for visiting. But also, I don't know if many of you realize that we opened the congregation on March 6th of 2020. Yes. Who remembers what happens 9 days later? But we're very grateful we were able to navigate, and it's because of the community that we have there that supported us along the way. And now it has become a known place in Detroit for community connection and coffee. Now that leads us to our most recent community adventure. There's an abandoned building right next door to the congregation called the Rectory. That also had laid dormant for more than 50 years. And we asked our community again, we turned to the community, what do you want to see here? And it was a resounding, we'd want a walkable pizza place. It's Detroit, of course. We are the city capital, or we are the pizza city. So after 4.5 years of restoration, we finally opened the Rectory in October of 2025. And I'm happy to report that it was most recently named on a list of one of the best places in Detroit to get pizza that isn't named Buddy's. I'll take that, I'll take it. So, the real reason I was asked here today is to give the secret sauce as to how both Rebel Nell and the congregation ended up on Good Morning America last summer. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for any business, and I'm fortunate that both businesses were on last year. I really wish I had some secret formula. I really wish I could tell you that it was the result of a brilliant PR strategy. The fact of the matter, it was pure damn luck. It was a lot of hard work. It was a lot of grinding it out in the quiet hours, having these dreams and these visions that you can't quite see through. You can't see the forest through the trees sometimes. And to my small business owners out there, I see you. I know the hustle. Detroit's an incredible city to start a business, but maintaining it takes a whole lot of work. I'm sending you a hug from here. But I want to just tell you, one of the things I always say is just keep swimming. And so with that, no, I did not become the first female general manager of a Major League Baseball team. I decided to pivot my entire life into building businesses that are focused on preserving history, enhancing community, and providing opportunity. I'm pretty proud of what I've done. I think the 14-year-old me, she'd be really shocked, but she'd also be really proud. But I want to thank you guys for listening to my journey, and I also want to thank Detroit for helping shape it.